Welcome to the catch-up podcast of the year. It's been a bit of a thriller of a year this year. 2024 was mad, and I'm here with my colleagues and friends, Devon, Ruggy, and Ash is here. How you guys doing? You guys all right?
You all good?
Good, man.
All good.
How's it all good?
It's been good, man. How are you guys? You've literally just landed a couple
Yeah,
of podcast.
hence the looking a bit drained. No, all good, man. All good. And this year was probably one of our maddest years ever. Talk to us. How was 2024 for each of you?
Yeah, it's been good.
Oh, yeah, Devon, you start. You kick us off.
You know, it's been good actually. It's been real busy. A lot of back-to-backs going on and stuff. But I love the vibes. You know what? Just getting to know the clients.
Yeah.
You know, creating an atmosphere in terms of like, you know, meeting in person with them. You know, not only just doing Zoom calls and stuff. So
our new office is banging.
Yeah. And you know what? I've been making use of that.
Yeah,
it's been good.
The office is sick. Rugs, you obviously have spent the most time in the office this year.
Indeed.
Obviously, as always. How has it been different to previous years?
You know, I think this year, 2024, safe to say, is perhaps the busiest year that we've had up until now.
Yeah, I think so.
So basically, after COVID, I think year on year, we can see that the numbers have been growing. The amount of events we're doing is increasing, especially the reach, man. More importantly, I think we've been seeing much more results in clientele from outside of the UK space. And that goes for probably all of us here. Destination weddings is on the rise, and so is the US clientele. I'd like to say, I think it's not just us. I'm watching some of the other companies, some of the other DJs, and it's like some sort of trend has seemed like it's emerged where a lot of the US clientele are booking DJs from the UK, which is quite interesting. But yeah, look, it's great with the new location. So just to put it out there, we're now based in Pinner, which is in Harrow. We have a new office and showroom there. So going forward, should anyone want the opportunity to come and discuss your event in more detail, whether that's playlists, whether that's just discussing your event, then we have that option there. We've also got our recording studios there for the bando, for Fusion Band, and we've got multiple simultaneous projects running there. So that's one little plug I just wanted to quickly get out of the way. But just to recap on 2024 overall, a great year for sure. And I think, funny enough, looking at 2025 now, it's safe to say it's going to be a lot busier. And I think Asher can probably give you a little bit more insight into that.
This is the thing. Ash has been a bit of a smooth criminal this year. He sort of sits in the corner all quiet, but he's been
And just move my eyes around.
bare busy. Been hella busy this year.
No, this year's been really, really busy. You know, met loads of brand new bride and grooms. Met some different people, like even different suppliers as well. You know, normally it's week in, week out, the same suppliers, but met some good suppliers. But yeah, it's been busy. It's been really, really busy. But yeah, 2000. I mean, it's not even over. I think we've still got.
We've still got a handful of.
We've still got a handful of weddings still left. I know my November's still quite busy. So, yeah, 2025 is going to be bigger and better. So, a lot to look forward to.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing, man. Like, it's human nature to like try and book something like a wedding. Like, you know, you book DJs and stuff in advance. And I feel like last few years it was kind of a bit later notice. But this year, for next year, like we're so booked for 2025 already, and it's not even, what is it? What are we, mid-October or something, right?
Mid-October, yeah.
So I feel like
it's changing again.
Yeah,
you know what? I agree. I think last year we saw people actually booking a few months in advance sometimes. Yeah. Not all of the time, but a lot more clientele were doing that. Now I'm seeing inquiries coming in for Devon in 2026. Same with you. We're seeing like a lot of that, which is quite interesting. Not a lot of them are converting, but I feel like with a lot of the clientele getting in touch now, they are booking faster because I think they also are seeing perhaps that how busy teams are. And I think it's safe to say the consistency has changed from it being predominantly based in a summer season of weddings. It's kind of all year round. And when someone hears who they like or what they like, they act on that impulse and they kind of say, cool. The amount of phone calls I get, and I'm sure even with Ash, they were like, hey, is this DJ available? And on that day, they would have either made a deposit, but the amount of people have had to say no, like they're not available.
And
that's the first time I've had
we had this chat the other day. It's like, we're getting inquiries for end of next year and stuff. And it's like, we're not. Yeah,
Shrey, even with Shrey, right? The amount is because the amount of destination weddings he's already on. Yeah. There's another client calling about destination wedding. Shrey's like messaging me saying, "Oh look, there's another inquiry," and it's crazy. Like the amount of inquiries, but naturally they all fall on very similar dates. Yeah. Most clients will know when they want to get married, which the reality is a lot of them favor June, July, August. Any August weekend, any July weekend tends to be more popular. I guess when the opportunity comes, when there's less kind of people available, or there's more availability, is midweek dates you know, January. I love January weddings. Like, there's obviously not as much of them.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good time to get married for clients, especially thinking about season and first pick on suppliers, because the amount of phone calls I've had, a venue's just gone down, closing down, so they're all looking for different spaces. They're calling me to say, like, this is the date I had. I've called multiple venues and the venues are not available. So not just, I guess, DJs getting booked. I'm imagining just whatever that trend is, people are booking again. It feels like quite far in advance.
Destination wise, I still remember the time when, like, I think my first ever destination wedding was Dublin. Does that even count as destination wedding? I don't know.
Did you get a plane?
I did. I kept the room key and everything. I thought it was so sick. I was getting flown somewhere to play music for a day and come back. But yeah, I think.
How do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I love it, man. How many did I do this year? Like 20? Something crazy like that.
More than 20. You've done more than
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I think each and every time it's just, okay, cool, the travelling's a bit tiring, and then, you know, hopefully they fly you in the night before so you get a bit of a rest before the event. But destination wise, this year has reached another level for me. I did a lot last year, but I did even more this year, and they were all just like amazing weddings, and a lot of them were like US clients and clients that I wouldn't typically do here in the UK.
Popular, right, with US clients.
Yeah, a lot of American. I'd say 70% of them have been American clients, which is it's mad. But this year I've just seen so much happening abroad, so many destinations, sometimes similar venues and you know, the Penalongas and Pine Cliffs and all that, but I don't get bored. I just think they are all sick, and you know, they can all be different. Like, they can be decorated differently, or they can have a pool party, and some people might choose to do something else, or whatever, games night, whatever. So I think for me this year, destination weddings has reached a whole new height. I know you guys have all done your fair share. You've done quite a few.
Yeah, I think this year is probably my busiest year with destination weddings as well. So it's been quite nice, just getting to know different clients, but also, like, even though, like you said, we're going to different places, like, for example, and some of the existing places like Lisbon and stuff, having different clients with different itineraries, it works really well.
It's probably good to go back to the same venue, though, isn't it? Because you know it.
You know it.
Mate,
you know your way around.
Bro, I was saying to Ruggy, like, we are so we have such good relationships with all these wedding planners, for like the top wedding planners in Portugal, the top wedding planners in Italy, same in Spain, some in the States, in Mexico, all around the world. We've got this massive database of wedding planners and suppliers, like, you know, production AV suppliers and all that. So now that we've got a good relationship with them, when we get booked abroad, we can actually recommend these other you know, companies, and mainly so that we get a good setup and the sound is nice and everything, and the microphones aren't messing around and stuff. So, well, yeah, like Pitbull, Mr. International.
Yeah,
man. We are the world.
You've recently just come back as well from Barcelona, right?
Yeah, it was good.
Was it Barcelona?
Yeah, Barcelona. Yeah, it was an area called Sitges.
I see it.
Sitges.
I cannot
Sitges.
pronounce it.
Oh, I know
Can't
which one
pronounce
you
it.
mean.
Yeah. I don't have to pronounce it, but yeah, it was amazing. You know, I was there for 2 days. Welcome party. Welcome party was supposed to be a bit preserved, but then they started partying, so it was good.
It's always welcome party is always crazy.
Why is it always the first day? It's mad.
Adrenaline.
always the one.
I always say the same thing to clients. It's like, they all say, I've got 3 days. This is day 1, day 2, day 3. And I'm looking at the running order saying, listen, day 1 is going to be the best night.
gonna be
Not the
mad.
best. You don't want to not say the best night, but everyone is
most
not
hyped.
hungover.
Yeah,
They are.
Everyone's
hyped,
fresh,
they're
and
pumped.
they've just seen each other for the first time after however long.
They're pumped.
They've been probably drinking all day because it's the first day. You know, drink at the airport and on the plane or whatever. Land in there, shower up, they go straight out, and then the party starts, right? And they usually go on, especially the first.
Well, that's the thing with destination weddings. It's always easier to. They're a lot more tolerant to sounds and, you know, time frames and things like that. And I'm finding in the UK sometimes with specific venues, it's more challenging. It's getting harder to just come and perform and DJ without us looking bad in some spaces. And I know that's something that we can discuss actually.
Well, we just had a destination. Well, he was in Porto and I was in Lisbon at the same weekend. We literally landed back this morning, last night, and both of our parties coincidentally were supposed to finish at 2. I think we went on till
4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I went on till 3:45 or something.
With a delayed flight.
There's not much restrictions there, though, is there?
No, they don't.
There isn't.
Most of it's outdoors. Or
They had a sound limit where I was, but it wasn't like here. Your sound limit here, you notice it. There, it's like, where's the limit? It's just it's raggo.
True,
it's like, it's just loud. Yeah.
Some of the venues now is like, you know, me and Devon were speaking about this earlier about if the volume with specific venues are compressed and things like that, and it's got specific sound restrictions, and the client really want a big party, you've got to consider all of these things.
Yeah.
You can't just book a venue, because the reality is a lot of the sales team might, sell you the pitch or kind of assure you of something, but until you've probably spoken to a DJ that's played there to get honest feedback, it's probably important to know. And I think now I'm a bit more conscious of that, because when you get caught playing at a venue that you just don't have much leeway with the sound aspect of things, it's not in your control.
It's annoying.
The audience will think it's to do with you. Now, any venue that's got a cut-off system is always going to be more challenging.
Yeah.
And I think
it's harder to concentrate, because you might be DJing and there's someone asking for a song, and then you got the bride and groom, you got to keep an eye on them. So if they're up on shoulders, whatever, you got to.
And then you got like a traffic light system.
And then you got the traffic light system on the side, like, and you're like, oh my god, I've been in red for 4 seconds or whatever. So like, it's challenging to DJ with a sound limit, and it just, it's difficult to create that atmosphere. If as in comparison to somewhere that doesn't have a sound limit, because
it's the last thing you want to worry about is the sound.
Totally.
Your focus is literally on the crowd mainly. So the last thing you want to do is keep looking there and looking over.
Yeah,
because
you want to.
Not everyone really. Very rarely, but some people are not as concerned about the party aspect. In which case, it's not necessarily the end of the world when you're playing with a kind of a compressing sound system as such. Because if it's not the biggest aspect of the party for that particular client, it's not necessarily the biggest.
But if you want to be starting something, like if you want to start like a full-on vibe, and you're in your head as a DJ, you're thinking, the sound's not going to be as loud. I feel like, not that it puts you off, it's just you're a bit like, I personally overthink what I'm going to play when there's a sound limiter.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you know what, that song is way too bassy for this system. I don't think it's going to sound right, whatever. Now I might not play it or something. But we were saying like, and maybe this is going to sound biased, but I feel like if you're getting married and you're looking to book somewhere, and they have said something about a sound limit, maybe come and ask the DJ, whether it's us or another company, doesn't matter. Just ask the DJ first. You know what? If they've played there.
I agree, and I have many phone calls that people will call me, and to be honest with you, not all the time they're booked us. They will just say, "Look, I've seen you play at XYZ, this particular venue. What's your honest feedback and what's your thoughts on it?" And I think that's really what I'm doing. Like even today, I just played a venue this weekend gone, and I've got 2 clients that are waiting for me to just give my honest feedback of the particular venue. And I think it's important when they do see me, or when they do see any of the DJs, then they know, like, this is what I want to do. This is the vibe I've got. But then they've presented the options of venue to you. You know which ones you can kind of create that vibe or atmosphere with, and you know which ones you can't. And only, probably not only, but the DJ is going to know quite strongly what works.
So much easier to ask us. Yeah, ask us, because we're not going to lie and be like, yeah, it was great.
No, I agree.
And
I think that's the truth. And I say it's not a case of essentially naming or shaming. But anyone that is watching or listening to this podcast that needs any advice just going forward for venues, if we can give you any assistance on suppliers, etc., please feel free to let us know.
It's all about asking the right questions, I think.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like we do a proper ask the DJs first, man. Book us first, then ask us.
Trust me.
And so obviously we've travelled between us. We've travelled the world this year. We've done pretty much every high-end venue in the UK, and also like that sort of mid-range where we actually kind of sometimes prefer those parties because they are more party animal heavy, if you like. But yeah, we've pretty much between us done everything this year. Was there anything that you guys, maybe Ash, you could kick us off? Is there anything that you saw that you think, wow, I've never seen that before?
You put me, wow, why'd you put me first?
Because he answered this question earlier.
And I said that at the start as well. The thing I found that's new the most is probably the inquiry for the band. Like the band have been out on so many events. The inquiries have been massive. I mean,
they've been working day and night, bro. Honestly,
you know what? I think it's I agree with you. I think that's the one thing I've seen that's been a lot different. It's the aspect of live entertainment, man, and then I think the difference that it makes at an event.
Yeah, I love a live band. A live band. I just think we've got 2 or 3 nearly in the making. Or what's the latest with the bands?
Yeah, so the Fusion band is the newest addition to the project, and that's more targeted for clientele that might want specific, more heavy on Bollywood and Bhangra based music with like 20% Western music or something. Whereas I think the bando is naturally more based on the Western aspect of music, but they can sing a handful of Hindi songs, which is great.
Yeah. I think if you want a little sprinkle on there, it's good.
Yeah.
I think the fact that
you've done a few with the band.
Yeah, I think the fact that you can have a live element that, during like your canapes or dinner and party set and switch it with a DJ, I think it works really well. I think it's really cool.
I love that. I love the whole idea of, especially when they do that set when they do, there are 2 that I really enjoy personally, because we always see the dance floor one and it's an amazing thing, but the unique ones for me is when you first walk into the room as a guest and they're already playing up on podiums or whatever,
Yeah.
scattered around the and they're already playing.
Yeah.
And then also their dinner set when they do that acoustic garage and
Yeah.
that's wicked. That is
Setting the
is
tone,
awesome.
right?
Yeah.
So I had that
Event.
this year. So when I was playing at, what was I was at Fairmont.
Oh yeah.
Guests walked in, band were already playing. They were loving it. That all happened. Then dinner came.
Yeah.
Once Shaken started singing, they
That's it.
forgot their dinner. They were all on the
Yeah.
dance floor.
Yeah.
And to get them back
And
to
that's
sit
it.
down again to finish the speeches off and stuff, it was a headache.
But you know what? Like, it's
But
I was at
it
a
was
wedding.
a vibe. Like
Yeah.
the room was
No,
just
they are
electric.
They are bad.
But dinner
They're
sets
sick.
otherwise, like there's something to do. Otherwise, dinner sometimes can be a bit flat. If you ask me, sometimes when you've seen a band and you've done an event that might not be a band there, during the dinner is like quite a big proportion of a wedding.
It's, it's
And
like 2 hours, isn't it?
yeah,
really,
and
if you add it
sometimes-
up.
And
There's
it's the
not so
build up,
much
right?
happening, yeah.
You want that build up.
It's
for the
having, it's
dance floor.
allowing
Yeah.
client to be able to, or I guess the guest to be able to mingle, to sit on the table and eat, to do that. It's kind of, in my opinion, if I was a guest at a wedding, it's much more easier than like kind of being sitting on the table. Anyways, but,
But you know what?
I'd rather be behind the
Yeah.
DJ because I'm an awkward
Yeah.
guest at weddings. don't know
Bro,
where
I
to
find
stand.
it so weird to be a guest and your name's on the thing and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, what
I'll
do I
be
do
the
now?
guest at weddings this year, right? My cousin's wedding, and I remember someone just tagging me in one of the videos to basically be like, "Look,
She's bored.
you don't know what to
I
do."
think Devin, you were DJing.
Yeah,
that-
Devin was
you were
DJing.
DJing, weren't you? Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird attending a wedding. I
I've
find
never
it very
attended one
strange.
in.
I saw straight at a wedding as a guest.
Yeah, I was at a wedding that
I
he was.
DJed one that. Yeah.
Oh,
I DJed
yeah,
one
and
that you
yes.
were there, and then you jumped on.
Yeah, I did. I
straight
jumped. I
with the
jumped on
guests
there
a
as
lot
well.
this year,
But
man.
that party was that party was
Yeah, yeah.
kicking. That was.
We were playing everything, talking the
Yeah,
hardest.
there was
power,
there
yeah,
was
it
nothing off
sick.
limits that day. It
Nah.
was
Do you know what's
just-
quite funny?
plain
Is
dance
actually
floor
going
bashing.
to a wedding and having no table plan. So imagine just sitting with randoms, but having that live element as well.
Oh,
Can
yeah.
kind of jazz it up for
Yeah.
like dinner, right?
I had a sick
You
idea.
kind of mingle with your table and then
But
kind of get to know each other and.
What's
You
it
know
to you, Devin? I was speaking to you about like someone was saying, what do you recommend for the bride and groom to do if you're like head table wise and like don't you sometimes see like the head table if there's family on there they just feel like they don't want to be sitting there they're just
Yeah.
It's a bit awkward.
uncomfortable and then sometimes you speak to them I just want to sit with my mates
Yeah, and they're not
just-
they're not
yeah.
sitting like opposite each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah,
They're
yeah, that's
sitting
it.
in a it's like a courtroom. They're just sitting in a line, like looking at you, basically looking at us, right?
it's
a
a
bit
lot
strange.
of pressure it's kind of in a weird way if you're like on a massive stage you got like 300 people in the room
Yeah.
some people can feel like
All right,
Yeah.
I saw
Maybe-
something the other day. Yeah, I want your opinion. I feel like we've all missed a trick here. You know, if you're a guest, you obviously you're going towards the reception room, and then they have the table plan, and it's done by tables, like number 1, number 2, whatever, and it has everyone's name. Why do they do that? Because it's so long to find your name. Why would you not just have it in alphabetical order, and next to your name tells you what
number.
table number?
I saw
you're on?
that. Yeah, I did. see
Why
that.
would you not do that?
I've never
It
seen
makes
that
sense.
but in a way it won't look
Bruv,
pretty,
imagine.
I guess, but
Okay,
it's
cool.
It actually looked good.
Yeah.
I saw it. It looked good. It
Where,
was in
where,
black,
where was
black,
this?
black,
I haven't
But
seen
I
this
mean-
before.
I've seen it a few times this year.
Really?
now. Bro, why would you want to?
Yeah.
And imagine like okay, so like my girlfriend Shah, yeah. So you go to one of her weddings. There's like 98 Shahs. How are you gonna find it's that's long, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
If it's alphabetical
bro,
order.
you're Patel.
Yeah.
it's the
That's
same
even worse.
same
That's-
thing
that's
for you lot,
100%.
yeah.
It's true, it's true.
And yours are like 200 Patels.
But I very rarely. I guess
I know what it
where
is,
it
though.
is. I don't go to weddings
You know
and
what
see
the
table
fact is,
plans much,
yeah?
man, and like
A lot
pay
of the-
attention to that.
Yeah, a lot of the time there's now themes, so they want to
Yeah,
stick
I
to
hear
some
that.
sort of theme.
Yeah.
What's going on throughout their whole week,
I hear that.
and then reception they want like a theme. So, for example, they will stick to these themes and have it the way they want.
Yeah, but not gonna lie,
So
man.
more quality.
As in name it
but-
after the country
Yeah,
or
yeah.
name it after.
And then they want it
change
you
like
can
that,
still
so-
do that on the table. You don't need to have it on the plan.
It's true if you think about it.
Because
Like, logically, it makes sense.
You got
to
like
do that.
50
But
people
yeah,
that you said
congregating
it.
around this one thing with no drinks in their hand. They're just trying to find their name, and that's long, man. Like
you
that-
got like a crowd of like
yeah,
50 people just trying to.
yeah. I think that's quite long.
Find
Where
the
you
name.
could be hearing Shagan sing "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough" or something. Instead, you're trying to find your name in this like Times New Roman font 12. Like, why? Just tell me
You know what?
where's.
In theory,
what
why
thing,
don't you
man?
just take it a step further and elaborate to that point and actually like email them on the reservation
Yeah,
what
that's
seat
true.
number and
I was
table
just
they're
about
going to
to
be
say-
on.
I was just
Then
about to say
actually
that.
before you get there, you kind of know where you're
Just
seated.
take a screenshot.
That would be
You
like
could do that.
very,
Yeah, exactly.
very like this is why we should be planners, bro. This is why.
Well, that
Yeah,
is
basically
something,
planners as
we've
well.
incorporated though. Ash is doing some planning stuff
Yeah.
a bit, right?
Sort of working on some stuff.
I
there.
think that would be a good idea because we okay. As much as we joke about being a bit biased towards DJs, I think we know weddings inside out. Maybe not to the
From a party perspective, yes, 100%.
yeah, maybe not
Yeah.
to the extent of an actual wedding planner, but I think we would be looking at it as a slightly different pair of eyes, and I think we would optimize the whole event for a party.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah,
small
definitely.
things like, oh, you should have entertainment here. You don't need this. You don't need, you know.
But it's like, I think it's the shift we've seen, perhaps it's also more based on our wedding on the day coordination, more so than actual official wedding planning, which is starts, I guess, on different journeys. But for, especially when clients book bands and production and the DJs and everything through us, because essentially, because we can do it all, it does make life easier. We're actually coordinating a lot of the things now.
Yeah.
In regards to what time people come on, what times, and this idea with the table plan and these kind of things could probably be well executed from a client's journey from the get-go. But these kind of tips and tricks as such, I think it's nice to adapt. But naturally, every bride and groom has perhaps their own direction, and I guess we're just trying to...
Bro, do you know the amount of time, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, yeah. I found the amount of times I've had a meeting with the bride and groom and I've said, oh, we got an itinerary sort of on the go. They're like, yeah, you know, our caterer sent us this. And then they send it. And I'm like, oh, that's good. But what if you did it this way? And they're like, oh my God.
It's true. Because,
that's way better.
Even like CAD, you know, we've, myself and Ash was like working on this kind of plan for Fairmont and kind of showing it to scale.
It's Fairmont Windsor.
Yeah.
Fairmont Windsor. And showing the
Beautiful
clients
Windsor,
just to get a feel of like exactly what it can look like, what it will look like on 3D.
They can visualize the day.
We did the first Indian wedding there.
Yes, that's right.
That was good.
Good days, man. Fairmont is still it's a superb venue. You know what? It's a great venue.
Yeah.
And talking of venues, do you think, because there's been this sort of consensus going around online that it's getting a bit repetitive, and we just touched on new things, you know, I don't know if any of you guys have seen any other new things, or do you feel like it's a bit repetitive, same jokes in speeches, same, you know, food, everything's a bit samey?
Well, I'll start with Devin. Let Devin answer that first. I'm going to come on the back end of that.
I think it depends on the itinerary. Like, for example, depending on what the client want and what their kind of guests like. I think the main thing that I kind of ask for with clients is, who are the guests that are coming in the evening? Is it more of like a younger based crowd, or is it, you know, have you got the older generation in the morning and stuff? But I think typically, depending on the itinerary, you can kind of change up.
I think also musically it helps that we're all club DJs.
Exactly.
So we always bring a bit of a different vibe than a wedding DJ. You get what I mean?
Yeah. So for example, if it's more of a younger crowd, you know, for example, when talking to the clients, asking the right questions on what type of genres you want for the evening, and I think just kind of making sure that kind of flows well, right? Yeah.
What do you reckon, Ruggs?
I forgot what the question was actually.
I'll just
actually, my brain went somewhere else as usual. So I'm just trying to recap what
any difference in
what I could answer.
He's probably thinking, what are you talking about?
I was just saying.
Venue. I remember now.
Is it a bit samey, like, you know, same venue, different day kind of thing?
I do think sometimes, like some venues, you can do an event in the same venue, but it's a completely different vibe. So I guess in lines that we're touching back towards themes that you mentioned about table plans and stuff like that, it definitely does help. But I wouldn't say I'm seeing the same trends as such, where it's kind of like it feels like a lot more clientele are having canapes. Drink reception, the canapes during the drink reception.
As in the starters is there.
Yeah. The guests come inside the room, bride and groom make an entrance, cut the cake, mains comes out, speeches, first dance, and then I'm playing like a 4-hour party set.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing. Like most of the parties I'm getting booked for are basically clients saying, cool, this is what we want. And to be honest with you, if you're thinking about it from a dance floor perspective, you're going to get more time.
Yeah.
But I also sometimes will question and advise clients, if you've got a venue booked until, for example, 12 o'clock, and you're starting, for example, at 7, and you're doing starters, mains, desserts, canapes, all of that stuff, you sometimes are naturally going to have a reduced dance floor time frame. And if you do a dance session during the start, after the starters, in between the mains, then you've got a bit of a party. But then to get the party back again, it can be done, but it's just a bit more challenging. Like I done a wedding on Saturday, and it was lit. It was like they done a first dance and about 7 songs that the bride and groom hand selected that they wanted. Then it went to mains, and then following that, it just went straight to like a.
Well, I think we all share the same thing.
Party,
just get everything, all the formalities done, and then party. Yeah, well, that kind of leads me on to my final question for this pod is, if you had any tips for couples getting married in 2025 or are thinking about getting engaged now or whatever, is there anything you'd say, maybe it could be anything financially or from an organizational point of view, a music point of view, is there anything that you'd specifically say, like that you think, oh, I'm fed up of reminding clients to do this? Is there anything you would say to clients now if they're saying, right, we're getting married next summer in Fairmont, Windsor? We touched on it earlier. Give us some advice. What would you? I mean, I'll let you guys take it in turns. Ash, do you want to start?
I mean, look, every bride and groom is going to be different. You know, they're all
Yeah.
going to have a different budget in mind. So, I mean, you don't want to throw out there and say, look, what's your budget? But sort of get some ideas and see what they want to do, basically. Everyone's theme and the day is going to be running differently. Once you know what they want, then you can sort of guide them in the right sort of direction in terms of which suppliers will be the best for that sort of theme. Or, you know, even food-wise, you know, I've done some weddings this year where there haven't been much Indian food. It's been like Mexican stuff and like Italian stuff. And things like that. So it's all different.
Italians become popular.
You know,
again,
and there's
because-
maybe only a handful of suppliers, I don't know, caterers that can probably do that. So instead of saying, look, go for this company or that company, you say, look, instead of you speaking to that company, you're better off speaking to these guys because we've seen them do that food before and it's great. Even with the theme, with the decor side of things, once you know that, then you can put something together for them. Then you can work on costing and say, look, you know, based on that, what is your sort of budget you're looking for? And then you can try and basically work something out for them and match that budget. Sometimes
I agree with
succeed,
that.
Sometimes you save money.
So you gotta think. You know, if you're getting married, you kind of need to know what sort of ballpark you're looking at and what's possible with that. And thankfully now with our office and all of our new production line, if you like, we can always try and make it work to the best of our ability. And we pretty much have everything now that we are able to do that.
No, it's true. I think, and again, just to add to that, I think naturally clients sometimes don't always know the price or budget, but I'm also noticing people sometimes don't actually have an idea of what things can cost. And I think I would make life easier for clients when possible. If they say, look, this is the venue, I just say that at minimum, you're going to need this. And then the rest of it kind of comes down to what you want.
You just got to keep it black or white. Like, you know, this is what you can do. This is how much this costs. And, but like I said, you'd make it like ABC, easy, literally to do everything.
Transparency and ease. I think it's just like, I've come across some clients in the past that have said, like, you guys have been quite straightforward and easier to deal with.
Have to be easy,
and I've worked with other, you know, suppliers and companies that have got very, very fast, streamlined processes, which makes life transparent and easier.
When I hear back from clients about booking, I always ask, I try and ask most of my clients, how was the booking process?
How did I do?
Yeah.
No, not even me. I'm just like, how was the whole process
Yeah,
from
yeah.
start to finish? And they always just say it was just so easy. Like we got to now we got to come to the office, we got to see what it would look like on the big screen and all this kind of stuff. And even like our quotes and stuff, it has pictures and details about what everything is.
It's itemized.
Yeah, because people
easier.
don't know what 6 moving heads looks like. You know, the average normal person, they don't know what that looks like. So I think,
I think having that personal touch, like for example, just kind of running it through them. You know, I think we all do this, like sort of setting up WhatsApp groups. Is if we can't have, you know, enough time to maybe do a Zoom call, meet them in person, you know, just literally run through.
Yeah, we always have
everything.
at
So it's
least
good.
2 meetings with every
Always,
client.
yeah.
You know.
So I think it's important.
WhatsApp group does help though. You know what? It's it can be sometimes bombarding, to be honest with you, when if you've got multiple kind of clientele,
it
different
can.
things.
But
But
I
I
tell you
think
what, it's that communication. This
Yeah.
is what they want. They
That's
want to
the
know
first
things.
thing I do once
wanna know
once
stuff.
they've you know, everything's been booked and stuff,
Yeah.
and then we have our first conversation. I say, right, let's make a WhatsApp group, me and the bride and groom.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the first thing I do is if I say, like, if you hear any songs on the radio or anything that you think will work, just don't even need to say hello, just whack it in the group.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I do.
Well, you know what? It's times are different now. If you think about it, right? The new generation probably receive everything in regards to quotations and businesses in a lot of different way. Because I get a lot more clients that reach out to me on WhatsApp before they call me.
Yeah.
And if I'm honest with you, I much prefer that because then I kind of know what's happening in the first place. Because my phone doesn't stop ringing, as anyone will know. It's hard to actually know, like, why is someone ringing me? And if someone messages you to say, hey, I've got your number from XYZ, I'm getting married and this is what it is, then you know, all right, when I call you, I can be prepared for it.
Yeah.
And not necessarily caught off guard. But I don't know. Well, I'm like an email person. I like to email quotes over to people, but I know, like, you know, Devon's got a lot more history or a basis of being more successful with WhatsApp groups
Yeah.
and things.
I think
like
it
that.
I'm on the
Yeah.
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp
vibe.
works really well.
I get a lot of
Ash is probably
inquiries.
thinking.
I just call.
You just call.
I just get down to it. It's just easier. Rather like with emails, obviously it's great. Obviously it works better for Nanesh.
Yeah.
And you guys with the WhatsApp group because you
Like follow up
guys
with
are
an
constantly on your
example
phone.
and
But for
stuff like
me,
that. So yeah.
you know, time is key. So literally, I'll pick up the phone, speak to them, note it all down, done. I don't have to speak to them for a while.
That's why it's got the best conversion rate when it comes to selling.
Yeah. Killing them.
But for me, phone works the best. Then you can just nail it down. And even like non-DJ side of things, I always ask the bride and grooms, like, you know, do you need any help with like suppliers, you know, decorators or food and stuff like that? So, and they feel a bit more sort of like, oh, like, he's going out his way to ask me. We haven't even booked him yet, and he's asking me, and then it worked. You know, I help him.
We got the first ever review of someone that hasn't even booked us this year.
Yeah, it was the most random. It was so random. I was actually quite surprised. I didn't know how to take it.
No, who got it? Devon.
Devon usually gets the review. I think it was Ambo. Actually,
It was Ambo.
It was
That's
Ambo.
right.
So these couple inquired. They didn't actually go ahead and book us in the end, but he was so good, and our whole system was so easy to use that they still gave us a
review.
5-star review on just how the ease of the whole process.
We're not going to book you, but please, we recommend.
Yeah, we don't want you, but if anyone else wants to, it's really easy to book them.
But reviews are important. You know what? I think as a company, we've always seen like the honest feedback is going to come from clients. Really, that's the truth. We might think we might be doing an exceptional job at specific something, but unless that they feel like that, then technically it's not done.
No, this thing, like, you know, if you're not into the DJ world, or you're not tapped in, or you don't follow DJs online or whatever, you won't know until what's the best way of doing it. It's like going to a restaurant. You don't know what the food's going to be like.
Yeah.
And unless you ask someone that's eaten there.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the same thing. That's why our reviews, I think, am I right in saying we have the highest?
I think we're probably close to it. I'm not sure, to be honest, to answer that, but I know we've got over 300 reviews.
Really?
Which have come in from people that have praised the DJs and the teams, which has been great. To be honest with you, it's a great testament to where we're getting to. And I think, again, numbers wise, I think we can only see that hopefully increasing. But each DJ that tend to go on jobs, it's safe to say, you know, they get good results because the people at that wedding that heard them are the ones likely to also book them.
Yeah.
In many ways, that cycle works really well for us because we do one wedding and you end up sometimes walking away with an additional 5 weddings from.
Yeah.
Yeah, you end up doing the best man, the cousins, and
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. That's how it happens, though, isn't it? It's circles. So I think this year, safe to say, was a great success. I think we all did really well, even obviously just us 4 here, but the whole team smashed it.
Year, right?
Yeah.
Crazy. This was the craziest year. And I think next year's, just brace yourselves, it's going to be even madder.
Wild.
It's gonna be wild.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. So anything else that you wanted to mention? I think we wanted to talk about we've got a radio thing launching. Right. So Ruggy, do you want to tell us what that's about?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the best way to explain it is that we are creating a new concept. It's called MM Radio. The idea behind it is the creators behind the team will be releasing mixes, podcasts, and music. Basically, I think that's the foundation of why we're here. Basically, and what we do up until this day is always the first love was always music. I think it's a case of just bringing that back and just sending mixes back out in a easier platform for us, which is now going to be on Instagram. On the broadcast side of things, so
Instagram broadcast, and you'll receive some sort of link to a platform or something. We haven't quite worked out that bit yet.
We're working on that.
Yeah,
Jason will work out the solutions for it.
I think we've got 5 sort of episodes ready to go. So
that's right. I think the key right now, I guess, is just to subscribe. So if anyone is watching it, we'll post a link for the subscription on that basis. And going forward, I think we'll be really.
It's sick, man. Like when we tested it out, you get a message saying new mix out or whatever it was, and then you get a fresh mix that no one else has ever heard.
It's not on any other platform.
There you go.
So,
and that's it. It's easy. Just listen to on the car and in the
if
gym.
If anyone wants to hear anything in specific as well, like feel free.
Let us know. I think the first, I've got my Mapiano Indian one. You've got one you did for Asian Network at some stage. So there's a few coming out soon. So subscribe.
Good vibes.
Good vibes, man.
Good vibes.
We done?
Done.
Done.